Banks present themselves as helpers. They say that we are here to help you, to support you, to make your dream possible. Your dream of buying a house, your dream of studying into a good university, your dream of convenience by giving you mortgages, student loan, credit card, portraying themselves as someone, a really helpful institution. Rather, but truly what they are doing is trapping you and me into a complicated system of debt where we just keep revolving around the cycles of repayments and we be enslaved to these institutions who call themselves banks. And I don't think people don't know that there is a crisis because of these banks. What I think is people don't realize the depth of the crisis we are in. Currently, we are in the debt crisis as for 2026. I mean, as for America alone, America is the citizens of America are almost in $30 trillion in debt. $30 trillion in debt. That's debt. As for 2024, the American government just paid $880 billion in interest, not in the principal amount or principal amount which the Americans owe to these institutions, but but the interest on that principal amount was $880 billion. 2024. The thing which shocked me a lot was New York City is the most in debt region in the entire United States. New York City. Can you who could imagine that will be a condition of the financial capital of the world? The most in debt region? I mean, you see total contrast when you walk in the streets of New York City. One side you have these billionaire row with these high rise apartments and buildings, and on the other side you have this person who is working honestly just to get food on his table, just to pay his rents, just to pay for the mortgage, just to pay for the student loan. Complete contrast. And who created this system? Banks did. Banks created this system of exploitation, of manipulation, so that you and I will be trapped, not just trapped, but will be enslaved to these institutions. In my prior videos, I have explained these things a lot. How does these banks enslave people? Just briefly, the government keeps on taking loans from these banks. Why they take loans from these banks, I'll tell you, but not right now, inshallah. Right now, just let me tell you that countries, as for United States, for an example, keep taking loans from these banks. These banks give loans to the countries. The World Bank, the IMF, all these big institutions, they give loans to the countries, to the first world country, to the second world country, to the third world country. And then You and I might think that the prime minister or president of that country is in control, or the party that won the election is in control. Not really. Rather, not at all. The banks are in control who lended money to these countries. These banks will decide what policies will be introduced in the country, how many taxes will be introduced in the country, how much taxes will be increased, how much taxes will be decreased. These all the things are decided by the banks and these big institutions, not by the party that win the elections, not by that guy which you see on the seat of a president of prime minister. He's not in control of the country at all. Okay, these countries took loan for the reason we'll talk about later, inshallah. Now what? Taxes will increase. How are they going to repay the payments? By your money, by your taxes. So the government increases the taxes. Inflation rises. Your salary is not increasing. Your business might be not doing very well. But inflation is rising. Taxes are rising. Cost of production is rising. Everything is rising. Even the blood pressure of people is rising, and anxiety levels are rising, and that's not a joke. That's not a joke. Anxiety levels are rising. People are suffering mentally. Mental health is a real issue. Now, you and I are trapped in paying our governments, our country, the system with higher taxes. Okay. Then what? Inflation is rising. You and I, the things which we bought used to bring with a salary or with the money we have is kind of decreasing day by day. The gas prices are rising, the oil prices are rising, the groceries are rising, but your salary remains the same. Your income remains the same. Now, you want to buy a home. Can you do that? You want to get a higher education. Can you do that? And the reason there are not many jobs, there's not many, what do I say, opportunities, and so on and so forth. Why is that happening? Because nobody cares, or people in the power don't really care about you benefiting. They care about themselves benefiting. They don't care whether you thrive or not. They care that they must thrive on your blood, on your efforts, on your sweat, on your hard work. People desperately go to then these banks to get mortgages, to get student loans. They buy groceries on credit card with high interest rate, compounding interest, hidden fees in the fine prints. I don't understand why the government, what justification does the government has for the fine prints? What are you hiding? What are you hiding? I mean, one of the first thing which should be banned all around the world are these fine prints on the contracts. And then people get trapped. They sign the contract without knowing what they're signing up for. The interest keeps on compounding. There are hidden fees involved. There are manipulation involved. They are exploited. And soon, the very people who invested their hard-earned money to buy a home, one missed payment, and the contract was designed in a way that you miss one payment and your house is foreclosed. Now you are homeless. Now you are going to get a rent. Now you are going to live on a rent. The rent prices are high also. They're very high. Student loan. I mean, for decades, these young lads are trapped in the repayments, their credit card. And the banks don't stop over there. This is how they're earning profit inside the borders. But now that's not enough for their stomachs. Then what they start doing? They start buying bonds, which the countries like Israel issue to do what? To commit genocide. These banks buy those bonds with the profit they generated from you so that they can generate more profit. And where is that money going? In killing children, women, men, to literally committing a genocide. That's how they earn profit outside the border. That's how they call themselves global institutions. That's how their global business run. Enslaving people inside, committing genocide outside, because outside the border they are not held accountable. They know these banks who are buying the bonds issued by Israel. They know that this money which Israel is taking, it will be using to commit genocide, to drop bonds for the settlements, illegal settlements, to destroy homes. But they don't care. They care about their profit. Inside the borders, they don't care about you, neither your children, who is who is working 9 to 5 honestly to make a honest living. And outside the border, if a mother and child is getting bombed and their body is literally evaporating out of the heat which came out of that bomb, that's also okay for these banks as long as they are earning profit. These banks, these institutions are one of the biggest problem we have, and we have to get rid of these banks. We have to get rid of these banks, otherwise they will keep enslaving you and me inside the border and committing genocide outside the borders. If you want the lives of your children and the children of the people living in Gaza to be better, we have to unite under the principle which Allah has given us. And what is the principle which Allah has given us? Allah says in the Quran, "O you have believed, do not consume one another's wealth unjustly." Do not consume one another's wealth unjustly. But only in lawful business mutual consent. Allah says in the Quran, don't consume each other's wealth unjustly. Do only these banks consume wealth unjustly? Don't we? Don't we cheat people out of their money in businesses? Don't we cheat people, even family members, in inheritance? Don't we cheat our own family members out of their money, out of their property. Don't we do that? Yes, we do. And what does Allah say after that? Don't consume each other's wealth unjustly, except by mutual consent. What is mutual consent? When both parties agree, willingly, informed, with no pressures involved, freely to the contract. And Allah says after that, do not kill yourself or one another. Indeed, Allah is to you ever merciful. Don't kill yourself. Neither don't kill yourself nor one another. What do you think? What are these banks doing? They are consuming other people's property unjustly, others people's wealth unjustly. Are they not? By manipulating them, by hidden fees, by um, whatever the system they have designed, by compounding interest. Don't they do that? And don't these banks kill people outside the borders for profit? I am certainly not able to explain you this ayah correctly, but this is the ayah which reflects the whole Quran reflects our whole life till the day of doom. But the, the system which banks have put forth, Allah is already talking about that. And Allah is commanding the believers in this ayah. O you who have believed, don't consume each other's wealth unjustly, except by the mutual consent. And don't kill yourself or one another. Allah has been merciful to you ever. What does bank do? Or what do we do at the individual level? Don't we consume each other's property unjustly? Don't we eat the property of orphans? Don't we consume the inheritance or the property which was by law supposed to go to our sister, but we consumed it all and didn't give the inheritance to our sister? Don't we cheat in businesses? Don't we lie in businesses? Don't we break trust? Don't we sell products by telling lies? One of the great scholars and waliullah of our time, Maulana Tariq Jamil once said, people come. I tell people not to lie in the marketplace, and people come and say to me, market don't run. There is no business without lies. We can't do business without lying. And my brother only once said to me, the stomach we have get filled in with 90% of lies and 10% of the truth. These are the thoughts and words coming out of the minds and mouth of Muslims. Of Muslims. If Muslims are doing these things, what do we expect banks to do? Are cheating people, are lying to people, or rather, let me rephrase, these banks funding genocide in Gaza is just the extension of what we do in our own family and our own neighborhood. That's why we have to change. We have to come back to the principles which Allah has given us. We have to teach these principles to our own children so that they can become a better human being. We have to internalize the book of Allah in our heart. For a long time, I used to think that understanding the Quran is the solution. Internalizing the Quran is the solution. We have to internalize the book of Allah. We have to believe in Allah. We have to worship Allah. We have to obey Allah. We have to get back to the principles which Allah has given us so that we can have a better world, so that there will be no Gaza again, inshallah. You won't see a genocide getting committed again, inshallah. If we want that to stop, we have to stop. We have to make a change in our family, in our life, in our children, within our families. We have to do that.